This was the true face of his mother, Scarlet Robe, Slayer of Balverines. Once one of the fiercest heroes in all of Albion, yet her most splendid battle was also to be her last. Ambushed by a dozen Balverines, Scarlet killed them all, only to fall injured and drained beside their corpses. There she would have died but for Brom, a kind and simple woodsman, who tended her back to health. In time they married and had 2 children, a girl and then a boy. Scarlet's days of death were forever behind her. Or so she thought.
Scarlet Robe was a powerful hero and champion of the arena, originally from Knothole Glade, known best for slaying Balverines. She was the wife of Brom and the mother of the Hero of Oakvale and Teresa.
So hailing from Knothole Glade, her autobiography describes her first encounter with a Balverine at the tender age of just 15, in which she surprised the elder warriors of that township by killing a particularly fearsome Balverine with a simple piece of wood. Hailed among the greatest heroes of Knothole Glade, she then went to mainland Albion and trained under the tutelage of the Heroes Guild.
Upon her graduation from the guild, Scarlet Robe quickly established herself as one of the greatest heroines in Albion's history up to that point. The book called The Pale Balverine describes her successful takedown of a white Balverine with a silver arrow, while it is mentioned elsewhere that she participated in the Great Balverine extermination. Perhaps in recognition of her abilities, she was invited to fight in the Witchwood Arena, where she emerged the first female champion in the arena history. After a battle with 12 Balverines, Scarlet Robe was found in a near-death state by Brom, a woodsman from Oakvale, who proceeded to take her in and nurse her back to health. In time, they married and had 2 children, the boy who would eventually become the Hero of Oakvale, and Teresa.
Scarlet Robe is first mentioned when Teresa excitedly states to the Hero of Oakvale that they should get home, for their mother would be home for Teresa's birthday party. However, just as the two begin to head home, the bandit attack ensues. Knowing their lineage as members of the legendary Archon's bloodline, it was Jack of Blades that had sought them out in an effort to use their blood to unlock the Sword of Aeons. While her husband perishes in the invasion, Scarlet is caught, interrogated, and imprisoned in the Bargate prison.
Her son, now a hero himself, eventually frees her for a brief period of time. However, Jack catches and imprisons both Scarlet Robe and the hero once more, until the hero breaks her out a second time, at which point she goes looking for Teresa after unlocking power hidden in her son's veins. Unable to evade Jack for very long, Scarlet Robe is soon captured again. During the battle at the Heroes Guild, Jack slits her throat just as her son, the Hero of Oakvale, arrives to rescue her and uses her blood to acquire the Sword of Aeons, enraging the hero.
1 year later, the Hero of Oakvale found himself facing the return of Jack of Blades up in the Northern Wastes. In order to open the Bronze Gate and confront Jack, the hero needed to find souls of a certain criteria, one of them requiring the soul of the heroine. At this point, the hero can return to the Memorial Garden and clear the area of Jack's Screamers, dispatched by the villain to torment Scarlet's spirit. Once the hero defeats the Screamers, Scarlet in turn offers her soul up to the hero. The decision is up to the player. After her death in Fable the Lost Chapters, a statue of Scarlet Robe can be found in the Oakvale Cemetery, in place of the former bandit statue.
Teresa mentions that by the time the bandits reached her during the village raid, she was already crying, watching as they dragged her mother away. She adds that this was the last thing she saw with her own eyes before being subsequently blinded by Jack of Blades himself.
So that's everything that we have in canon, along with another statue of her that actually is found in Knothole Glade, but we can mention that in a second. We have some trivia on Scarlet Robe. So I want to start with I guess really mine, or the biggest one, which we'll talk about, which is Scarlet Robe is in probability Red Riding Hood. Not just from the name, but also the concept of obviously Red Riding Hood being involved with a wolf that was impersonating the grandmother, and in this case Scarlet Robe comes to renown as a teenage girl fighting against wolves, or Balverines in this case. So, and the axe as a weapon is also very, very apt, because in the story of Red Riding Hood, it's the hunter or huntsman with his axe, isn't it, that kills the wolf?
It is, yeah.
So I believe that there's, this is almost definitely this character is Red Riding Hood in
100%. And I think that's really, really cool, honestly. Like, it's the mother of the hero. It's not just some random, like, mentioned hero. It's an actual, like, very important character.
Absolutely.
So the next bit of trivia here is there's actually a hero doll of Scarlet Robe, which can fittingly be won at the Knothole Glade Tavern in the Tavern game. So it's really cool that they have the hero doll of her in her hometown.
Yeah. So her real name is never revealed in the game. However, I would stipulate that Scarlet Robe is just her name. That's what I would say. I don't see why that can't be her name.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it does sound like a hero name, but obviously she is the bloodline of the Archon. She's the one who brought it down to the Hero of Oakvale and Teresa, so it's, there's no reason why she wouldn't just be given a hero name at birth by her most likely hero parents. So, there you go. In the book, The Pale Balverine, it says a red-robed woman killed the Balverine in question. The red-robed woman is almost definitely a reference to Scarlet Robe, as we said before.
Red Riding Hood. When she was 15 years old, she killed a fierce Balverine with just a piece of wood stated in the book The Balverine Slayer. That's within the game, I believe. I think they're both in the game, aren't they? Actually,
I think they are, yeah.
The statues of her in Knothole Glade and the Hall of Heroes, respectively, depict her holding an axe that is very similar in appearance to the Murren Great Axe.
That's really cool, actually. Scarlet Robe seems to be the only character to insult Jack of Blades directly during the story, calling him a bastard, which is kind of epic.
Slow down there.
Kind of feisty.
So I would actually say, as well, that's the kind of the trivia over. The events of the raid on excuse me. Sorry for that, guys. So the events on the raid of Oakvale, we'd have to speculate a bit more on this as well, as to say Jack was definitely amongst the bandits, because there's no way that she would have been overpowered just by a band of bandits. He would have had to have been involved, or she was late coming home and arrived and there was already chaos at the scene. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the only other logical explanation is she was caught off guard somehow. Like maybe she was still sick or asleep or something, because you don't really see her in your house when you're like the young boy doing your chores at the very start of the game. So I feel like she must have either arrived late or maybe maybe Jack himself caught her off guard and overpowered her somehow. So because there's just no way random bandits would have beaten her. No,
for sure not. There's another question here. Has she become a domesticated like housewife, and she's kind of laid down the axe, taken off the hood or the robe, and she's a mother now? Or is she still a guild seal holding, quest taking hero?
That's a good question, because again, you don't see her during those opening moments of the game. Like she's not there. She isn't really referenced heaps until you get to your sister. So it's not like.
Well, there's a cross thing here that goes a bit further for me. Is that I think she probably was still taking quest, because the comment by Teresa of mum will be home suggests that she's away a lot. But then there's also that brings into another thing. So are we to be saying that Maze convinced the Guildmaster that you were not her son? Because the Guildmaster would have then known her, presumably.
For sure.
And so would Briar Rose, so would Thunder. Thunder would definitely have known her. Two heroes of the arena, come on. And so that's then a bit of a disconnect. So are you telling me that maybe there's this subtext where Maze basically convinced the Guildmaster that you were not her son, and therefore to try and protect you in some way? And do you know what I mean? Like, where's that?
Yeah, and I feel like you are known as Farm Boy for a reason. Like nobody knows you're. They're sort of just implying that you're just some random that Maze saved, which obviously makes sense because Maze would want to hide your identity from Jack even, and Jack has information coming from all over the place, so there would be, it would be a complete waste of Maze's time if you grew up as the son of Scarlet Robe, and then, Jack would instantly be like, okay, yep, son of Scarlet Robe, let's go capture him. Like, it would be too obvious for him, so yeah, I feel like, I don't know, there's definitely, there's a lot of sort of backstory there that probably could have been expanded upon a little bit, but obviously I didn't want to reveal too much information on Scarlet Robe herself until later on, so...
Yes. Yeah, I guess so, because that's a little bit of a twist almost, you're not really expecting that on your first playthrough until you get to the arena, obviously, really. So that's it on Scarlet Robe. Do you have anything else to add?
No, not really. I think she's a really, really interesting character, and I think, despite the fact that she has very little lore, I think definitely it would be really cool to see sort of the bloodline and how it eventually leads to her, and then eventually leads to, your character and Fable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would definitely love to see some expanded universe stuff on that eventually, but for now, that's all we have.
Yeah, guys, take it away in the comments if you've got anything that you want to add, or anything that we've missed. Let us know. And yeah, other than that, we'll see you in our next Fable lore video.
What a touching family reunion. The mother, the son, the daughter, and the sword. There's only one thing missing.